what we saw in the last 2 weeks, I think that like this region, the particular region that houses Pakistan as well as the other countries, it had been on the cusp of two major conflicts in the last 2 months. Obviously, one being between Pakistan and India in the month of May, and what happened in Iran, our next door neighbor, and what could have happened in the Middle East. How do you see this entire thing? To what extent could have it gotten worse if the conflict, especially the recent one being had, got into an even worse level than it went to?
Well, Pakistan has navigated a very tough and a very rough waves of the tsunami around us. That was Iran and also Middle East situation in Gaza, Palestine. And we very recently were able to really deal with the biggest threat past so many years, so many decades that we faced from India and the way we responded. So all these three challenges definitely confronted Pakistan, and Pakistan navigated all these challenges, I think, in a very successful manner, both on the diplomatic front as well as on the kinetic front, which is the armed forces performance. If we combine together the military diplomacy with traditional diplomacy, that has yielded its results, and see the outcome of it. Even the most powerful person of the world, the most powerful president of the world, of the most powerful country, he invites the chief of the army staff. People could have debate chief of the army staff. Those people who understand the Donald Trump's style of working and Donald Trump's style of propelling its foreign policy, they would understand that he has his personal touch in it. You know, the State Department these days are mostly, you know, they are not really allowed to take major decision. Once I say that, I have in front of me the evidences for that to qualify what I'm saying. That now most of the decisions are taking place, the foreign policy decision from White House, and in White House they have their own inner circle, and that inner
Dr. Jamil, sorry to cut you in between. I wanted to further, go into the discussion that we're having right now. Like, if you focus on Donald Trump's address last evening and also about his comments throughout this NATO conference about Israel, where he also, I guess it was the first time an American president expressed their anger at Israel for being a very irresponsible state. And also you saw his general comments at the NATO conference. How do you actually see this, relation between America and Israel going forward ahead? Do you think that we could see any cracks in between in the near future? Because Donald Trump really made some really interesting remarks, saying that Iranian missiles took out a lot of buildings in Tel Aviv. And he also said that he wasn't clearly very happy with Israel. And then obviously going ahead, I'll also ask you about what Pakistan's role has been in this entire, region and the conflicts as well.
All right. First thing first. In fact, before embarking the helicopter from the White House to take his voyage to the NATO Netherlands, he was confronted by the journalists, by the media people, and obviously the way he addressed, once he was told that Israel has once again, after the ceasefire, deviated and violated the ceasefire, he showed his anger, and he showed anger in a way that even you can't repeat it on the program. Yes, and he then pledged that, okay, I am going to just leave me alone, let me talk to Netanyahu, and let me get it resolved. And he did that. In fact, once he reached Hague, and during the press conference which you are referring to, he mentioned that, I had a conversation with Netanyahu and asked him to really call his planes back, fighter planes back. And literally, there were about 50 planes in fighter planes. They were about the attack again, Israel. and that was called back. So that's the forcefulness.
सब्सक्राइब करें और बेल दबाएं ताकि कोई खबर रह न जाए।